Hi guys. So I decided to record this video mostly because I think it would be better to give some like visual and I don't know, like I just wanted to be clear on the concept and then maybe also give some feedback on the UI UX thing. But I think like it's getting too much verbose to for me to put all my thoughts into Trello or even notes. So I just thought that, and this might be a better medium to communicate my thoughts. So yeah, overall, I think like the design is like as per what we had imagined. It's like going pretty well, but I think I found a lot of bugs, and then we'll need to squash them, of course. But I just wanted to like at least make it clear to you what exactly, and also some of the elements that we have in the mockup are probably non-intuitive, and you might need some clarification from me. And so that's basically the whole idea of creating this video. And let me know like if this makes sense after we finish, or if you want me to send you some AE file like After Effects file where we can show the transitions maybe, or have some kind of design for even the transitions or interactiveness. We can even do that, but I was like pretty open to how you guys want to implement it, since you are like developing the app, and then since you have some experience with even the design part of apps. Like I'm completely open to your suggestion on how we can make this more responsive, and in terms of like user responsiveness, and how we can make it like really nice and give that kind of interactive feel. But if you think like, okay, you need to tell me like how exactly do you want to do it, and so we can do that too. Yeah, so it's like you'll have to let me know, but I hope just that the functionality parts becomes clear with this video. So yeah, so I tested out the login screen. I think it was pretty there apart from a few bugs like when you enter the email ID and password, like it just rings. But otherwise, it's like going. It was like pretty how we had in mind. So, and just one thing, like when I click on Facebook or Google, like it shows a yellow kind of I don't know, like it shows it in yellow for some time, and I don't know, like it's something that you had in the mockup just to show that this is a touchable property or something like that. I don't really know. Just like I'm just walking you through what I found while testing. So yeah, I think like the screens are pretty basic, but just like going through it. And yeah, screen number three, like here I couldn't find anything like that allows me to add an image. So maybe that's something like remaining, or I don't know. So yeah, and then coming to the favorite screen. So yeah, let me just first like reiterate the idea behind Automate, and then I think it'll probably make sense like what kind of screens we're building, and then we're gonna figure out an optimum way to do this. So yeah, like here's like so basically this is our onboarding screen, and this basically explains the idea. So it's like will allow any user to create a login sign up for Automate. So like once the flow is done, so I think like at screen number 4 we are done with the flow. Now we basically ask them to integrate a third-party API. So this is going to be like an integration service that we're offering. Like if you have like 5 or 6 smart home devices, you can just link everything up and then use it from one app rather than using 5 or 6 apps. So that's it about third-party integration. So like when you link, let's say Philips, and let's say you link, all this kind of brands with Automate, what happens is that all your devices are now into one single app, and then we have a template basically. So we are creating a UI experience for how a demo should look like, or how a switch should look like, and this is completely once we have imported this particular. So what will really happen is that once someone integrates a third party API, we'll be able to fetch all the devices that the person has in his home through the third party API, and then onboard it into Automate. And then we basically so for example, let's say someone has 10 devices. So it can be anything in the third party interface. Okay, let's say for example, the person XYZ calls Philips Hue bulb as his night lamp. So we can import it, but it's like when we import it, we'll only get the device IDs and also some names that the person has associated. All that kind of stuff we are going to get from the API. But then now we can customize it. For example, it doesn't matter what he has done in the Philips Hue app, because it's like a completely different kind of service. But here we can like have a different kind of favorite section where he has some of the bulbs as favorites in the app, or he has some kind of like, if he uses a thermostat, he can put it on the favorite screen as well. So like that's the whole idea. Like you can integrate third party APIs and then basically customize the whole interface or build upon it. Like you can have schedules, you can have scenes, and yeah, that's a high level idea. So coming back with that perspective in mind, I just wanted to like walk you through how the third party integration would work. So as soon as someone comes, like after the login, the first screens that they're going to so yeah, you have already designed the onboarding screens, and I think they're pretty sleek. Yeah, so I think this is the thing that this is the redesign that we gave to the whole interface. Maybe you can go ahead with this, or maybe I think this is for the all device, right? Okay, okay. Let me just skip that and let me come to the core idea, which is like, yeah. So this is the first screen that they'll see, like, in terms of click here to set up your favorite devices for quick access. So this is the favorite screen that, so whenever someone signs up and they're through the onboarding, and then the first thing that they see is like this screen where it says click here to set up your favorite device for quick access. And then when someone clicks on, so I'm sorry, like this is not the my home screen. This is the favorite screen. So this should be highlighted. And then this is the my home screen where it will again show that you need to connect some devices to get started. And then yeah, so basically like we'll not show anything. And then if someone clicks on let's say automation or anything, like we'll just show empty screens, but we'll ask them to link devices maybe. So, and what exactly is like link devices? So this is the screen that we're designed for linking devices, which is where is it? Yeah, so I think it's at the top. So what I can even do is like create an interaction diagram for you if you guys like can crunch this, because I see now that it's like not designed in a chronological order, and it might get confusing of how actually to interpret this. So yeah, that's something like I'm open to doing. So where exactly? Yeah. So this is the one. Yeah. So, for example, when someone clicks on this particular, so when you click on this connect button, which we saw on the empty screen, and here in settings we have something like new brand. So when you click here, basically it'll be a search box where you can search for all the services, and then like popular services, and then like all services. So we might have, so for initial prototyping purpose, we are just going to go with three. But then in future, if this thing, you know, becomes popular, we might have more. So yeah, this like you can just select anything. So for example, let's say we clicked on selected Philips Hue. So this is how the login screen will look. So yeah, till here you need to give me the UI part. After this, what happens is like we'll do some backend integration for this when someone clicks on login. So basically, what you can do is like directly jump to the login screen and just show like how it will look. So here it's like this is where we'll land after we click on login. So it will fetch all the controllers that are linked with that particular account, and then basically you can select all the controllers. So this is like we are showing it with the green arrow, and then you can, once you click on continue, it goes I'm sorry, this is not in chronological order. So once you select all the devices and you click on continue, so basically like it will show you a success message, which we have over somewhere over here, which is, just let me look through it. So yeah, we have like something went wrong, but we also have like something went right, and then we basically imported everything from your profile. So yeah, we are going to show that, yeah, successfully added, and then there's like add more. So if someone clicks on add more, you again go back to the new brand screen, or where you ask them to link another account, or you go back to the home screen. So once you're back to the home screen, now you have the whole set of devices with you. So the prototype that we have designed is like showing all the devices, how they will look once someone has onboarded and like linked up all the devices. So yeah, just let me go through the home screen again. So yeah, this is like the my home screen, and as you can see, like we have two options over here. So either you can see by room hierarchy, like this is the default option that we are showing, that like this is like you want to break it down by room, or do you want all the devices? So basically like there are two ways of looking at this. So we consider two use cases actually. So either one person can have lots of devices or they can have a few devices. So let's say I have like, only one device in every room. So it will like, I'll be annoyed if I have to go into every room and then select, everything. So it's like, we cannot, so the whole purpose of doing this is to simplify, not complicate. So we thought that, there should be an option for displaying, like changing the display type based on, so there should be a drop down like, what is my preferred display type. So either I can segregate it based on rooms, or either I can segregate based on the type of functionality it is. Like for example, as we have shown over here, it's like, yeah, we have like lighting, HVAC, IR control curtains and all, right? So we can even have in the my home screen like lighting, HVAC and all that, instead of the default hierarchy, which is the room based hierarchy. So that's what I think like the top filter screen means. And I think that you will find one screen that has been designed to show that. Yeah. So let me go through again. Yeah, and I wanted to give some feedback on this screen as well, which you have already designed, which is that like this is going to be a color picker, and then this button at the center will be like an on-off kind of thing where uh, you can just turn something on, turn something off, and then basically when you turn it off, they should go to zero. And then when you select a color, maybe we can have something over here like saying that okay, this is the color that's selected, because I frankly have no idea like if it's dynamic or if it's just like moving this. But then we need yeah, from your end I just need something like where I'm sure that you have it dynamic, and then you're able to select the color and show it somewhere. So once you do that, I'll just link my API and then we'll make a call based on what color the user selects. So yeah, so that's what I need from you. Like you can just like limit this the the area where you can move this the selection cursor to maybe only this part and not go over here, and then we can have this as on off. And of course we need to have some kind of transition to show that this is on and this is off. So it's something like I'm open to, and if you think like you need my help, we can design an After Effects file to show how exactly it will work. So okay, I think my home screen is like sorted out, and then we have like bedroom, we can show lighting, HVAC, air control curtains and all that. And I think this screen maybe you can skip, because then we realize later that then everything has to be a bed lamp. But yeah, I think I can skip this screen. And then we have the favorite screen. So it's like we're looking at this kind of layout where it's like we are going to have a different kind of structure for every particular device, where we have dimmers and all. So whatever is on will be shown in valid, and whatever is off will be shown like this. And then basically nothing will be like you cannot tap anywhere over here and just turn on turn off things. It's basically just showing the status, and then uh, like you have to click on it, and only then you can turn it or turn something off. So yeah, and this plus symbol over here. So when someone clicks on the plus symbol over here, again this is like a little bit of a mistake from our end, which is like we are showing it as a my home screen, but it's again not my home screen. It's going to be the favorite screen over here. So this is like the favorite screen, this is the automation screen, this is the my home screen, this is the notification screen, and this is the setting screen. So if at all you find there like if there's anything like confusing in terms of labeling, maybe then you can just ignore that. That's a mistake from our end. So yeah, I think like I just wanted to walk you through the plus symbol. So I think like we have gone through this screen. So this you have designed it. I think a lot of things are missing, but we can work on this. I just wanted to walk you through yeah, the plus screen. So whenever someone clicks on the plus button over here, which we saw over here, so it goes here. And then basically this is like a horizontally sliding layout where I can just select that particular. So when I go over here, it basically switches me to that particular room and that particular devices, and I can just pick things and then add it. And then I can even search for devices, and then this thing should dynamically search for it. So I don't know like what's the best way to implement it. Maybe you can have something like a mock server based kind of setup, or maybe you can have kind of a database kind of structure, or you can do some caching. I don't know, like Redux, like you can even have states. I'm like completely open to your ideas on this, but basically just give me something where I can link my API, where I'll have an option So search for device is something that you'll need to do on the front end level itself, because then favorites and something is favorites are, or whatever device we fetch, we are planning to store it locally on the device and not on the cloud, or maybe we'll have an option where they can upload that to the cloud. But this, for now, for the prototyping purpose, we're just going to make it like device specific, or just store it locally on the device. So maybe you can have something like a search in React itself, where basically someone can search for the name, and then just like the particular device comes up, and then they can just tick it and then just add it to favorites. So yeah, like for your level, you don't need to call the backend at all. This is just something that will happen at the front end. And I think hierarchy I've already explained. And then yeah, we are basically like looking to switch based on the grid view and the list view. So I think like I am not very sure where we have shown this, but there's probably an option somewhere where we have this option of switching from grid to list. Maybe it will come somewhere down the line as we explore more, but there's definitely an option for switching. So yeah, and we have like forgot password screen. I see that you already done this, so even the login screens are pretty much designed. And then we have the all devices thing, which I already explained like how it's going to work. So there's, at the top we have the all devices section, where we'll be like showing all the devices no matter what, not based on, not broken down by any kind of room based hierarchy. And then we have the lighting thing, which is like it's coming up again and again. But yeah, I think as far as widgets are concerned, like we just need to. I'll test more of this out as in when you develop. But this is more like just need to make this so that someone can dynamically select it, and then I'm open to your suggestions on how can we make this better, because I think this was just a design kind of thing which we figured out this is the best way to represent this. But like I'm keen to hear your thoughts on if this is the right way to design, or if you think like we can do something better. So yeah, and then this is like, I think the widgets are pretty sorted out. What I really wanted to walk you through was I think like the favorite section, because that was going to be tricky. And yeah, I think I forgot one more thing, which is that uh, for the widget for the widget screen, I have seen that you have this horizontal kind of layout where I can select, just like select and it shows up here over here. But we also need to make this thing scrollable, like this is like very intuitive, because if this is like scrollable and this is not scrollable, it looks like I don't know, like I just wanted to switch from here as well. So yeah, that's something like which is very non-intuitive, but I think like just clarifying it would probably make sense. Like whenever someone tries to so it's like a transition from here to here, like from, let's say, from dimmer to tube light. So it's again the same thing maybe, but then we are showing it in a different way. So yeah, I think like widgets. If you have any questions on widgets, I will be happy to answer. But to me, it seems like very intuitive, so I'm not going to explain much on that. And yeah, we have scenes, schedules, and groups. So scenes are going to be something that will automatically fetch from the third-party API. So this will be something like you just need to give me a UI where it's exactly like this, and then we just have a button for activate, and then what we'll do is like integrate the backend to just trigger that scene. So this is like pretty sorted. And then we have something like schedules. So schedules is like this is something like will allow any user to create on our platform though. So for this, you will just need to give me this kind of layout where we can set a name for particular. We can just select. So what is happening is that firstly you need to select like what kind of devices you need to add. So here there'll be like, you can just name it, then you can just like add devices. So when you click on add device, I'm sorry, like where exactly is it? I think like for the add device screen, we can reuse the one that we are using for the favorite screen, or maybe something similar. So the idea is that when someone clicks on add new device, here the slider changes to what particular device you need to add, and then once you select the device, here it shows up here, and then you can basically either delete it, or just have all of them configured. And then what you can do is like when you select for example, let's you added like 10 devices, and then when you click over here on this particular bulb, you'll be able to set what kind of attribute do you want to set for this particular bulb. So for example, let's say I want to make it yellow and I want to have it like 50% intensity. So yeah, like that's the attribute level configuration that we are going to allow from the app. And then once someone selects like what they want to do, then we allow them to set a timing, like start at this and end at this, and then if you want to repeat it like on this particular day and repeat weekly. I think like this is something that you just need to give it to me like in terms of designing, and then I'll take care of how to integrate this with backend. So yeah, but I think like the non-intuitive part would be like how do you add a device like for this particular thing. But I think like we can reuse the screen that we have for adding to favorites. Like I'm open to your suggestions on how we can make this better, but I think like that was the idea behind not having it shown explicitly. So, okay, and I think we can go with this particular on-off switch instead of the lamp, where we can just like anything that is, or we can even make it horizontal. Like I had a word with Mitesh, like if we really need to make it vertical, or if we can make it horizontal. So, you let me know. Like this is how it's been designed. We can even have a circular button which says on-off if that sounds like the best idea to do. So, yeah, and. Just wanted to like I think this is so done. I think so, and yeah, I just hope that whatever you have done is like in a format where I can just link it with the backend. So it's like you have it in a maybe a format where I can just like replace this with my JSON API and then fetch like test data. So we have something. We are doing some testing on Node.js and Postman. I'm sure like we'll be able to show or see some of the things going on together. So yeah, and so yeah, just a minute.